Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining the Slack and Microsoft Teams webinar. I have myself, Elizabeth Fabosi, the Senior Product Marketing Manager here at Quartzy, and we have Katie, our awesome Implementation Manager, who will be bringing us along this webinar today. So I'm just going to give it one more minute, and then we should get started, and I'll turn it right over to Katie. All right, Katie, I'll send it over to you to get started.
Awesome, thank you. Thanks everyone for joining. We'll be going over our Slack and Microsoft Teams alerts integrations today. So our agenda today is I'll give an overview of what these integrations with Slack and Teams do, all the resources that we have to implement these in your lab, an overview of the alerts that you can set up, and then we'll also do a Q&A session if you guys have any questions. So first off, what do these Slack and Teams integrations do? So when a particular event happens in Quartzy, such as maybe an item being shipped or ordered, a message is actually posted automatically in the selected Slack or Teams channel. So this just helps you keep track of orders, prepare for upcoming deliveries, and also, in the future, it'll help you, manage inventory and stuff like that. So here is just a little example of an event happening in Quartzy. You can see that an item is being marked as received here. And then this is an example of what that alert would look like in a Slack message. On this next page here, we have an example of a Teams message, just to give you an idea of what these alerts will look like in a channel. So how do I integrate my lab with Slack or Teams? So both these integrations are out of the box. So that means any lab admin can configure these. No coding is required. So here I've linked these user guides. And Elizabeth will be sending out these slides after the webinar. So you'll have all these links and resources at your disposal. So there's just a couple of requirements for both of these. For both Slack and Teams, you'll just need to be a Quartzy lab admin in your lab or in the lab that you want to set these integrations up in. For Slack, you need access to the workflow builder. And for Teams, you need access to the Power Automate tool. So Slack setup. So first up, pretty simple. You're going to just create a Slack channel where you want to receive alerts. You can also use an existing channel if you already have one set up that you'd like to receive alerts in. And then, like I mentioned before, you use Slack's workflow builder and you just import the package. So that's going to be the full workflow. And then optionally, you can configure the alerts further. So if you want to remove anything or add anything or even adjust the messaging, you can do that. And then you would go into your Quartzy account, activate the alert via webhooks, and then you'd be good to go. The team setup is very similar here. You'll create or select a Teams channel. Then you'll use the Power Automate tool, import the package, configure and customize the alerts, and then activate those webhooks in Quartzy. So the kinds of events that you can receive alerts for, we have a little bit more in Slack right now. So you can do item ordered. So for any vendor, you can do item ordered or item received. So these are both going to trigger when an order from, a request from any vendor is either ordered or received. And then we have these Quartzy shop only ones. So these will be relevant to Quartzy labs within the US only. So for Quartzy shop orders, you can get alerts for when your items shipped, delivered, back ordered, or canceled. And just note that these are all item specific. So it's not going to alert you for an entire order. It'll be for each line item, we'll be able to receive these alerts. And for teams, we have a couple here. We have, again, these are for Quartzy orders only right now. We have items shipped, back ordered, delivered, and canceled. So any of those events right now, you can choose to have those alerts sent to a Teams channel. So what I would love to know, because we are, we're always making improvements and adding event types and these alerts, I would love to know, what would you like to be able to receive in Slack or Teams, or what kind of notifications would you like to be able to send to Slack or Teams? So just throw that in the chat, and we can definitely go over those later. And I'll be recording this, so I can use those for when I develop further events. So are these integrations customizable? So yes, both the text and the variables included. So the variables included are going to be things like item name or catalog number or grant ID, stuff like that, or even a requester. You can choose to include or disclude those. So you have a lot of options and options for customization. So you can see a list of all the variables and everything that you can configure in these links here. So just as an example, list of variables that can be configured. So you'll be able to send any of these variables to your Slack message. And then this is just an example of, customizing the messaging in Slack. So this is, once you import your workflow package, it'll look like this. And then this insert variable option here will allow you to pick any of these variables. You can add these, and of course, you can also delete any of these that you don't need. So just an example of what the default message. So if you import the flow, this is what comes with it. And then I've customized this one over here to just show you, these can be, the text can be customized. You can add things such as, add that at total price and quantity, just stuff like that. And then of course in Teams, same examples here. We have our default workflow here. And then we have our, it's called dynamic content and Power Automate. But it's going to be the same thing as in Slack. These are all the variables that you can choose to add in or even remove. So our default message over here, and then I've customized it just a little bit over here. So for upcoming improvements, like I mentioned earlier, based on everyone's feedback, we're building out more event types and everything that you can receive alerts in Slack or Teams for. So we do plan on adding inventory items. When you add, update, or delete, you can choose alerts for those. When an item is running low in stock, so when it hits that minimum stock threshold, you can receive an alert for that. And then request, you can do one for new requests submitted, and you can receive one for when a request requires approval. So these are not available quite yet, but here in the upcoming future here. So any questions, go ahead and put them in the Q&A box now. And did any questions come up yet, or? Oh, you're muted, I think.
I sure am muted. I don't see any questions coming through just yet. So
okay, perfect. right, so I have just these resources here, which we can definitely go over.
Yeah, maybe it would be great to just quickly pull up, if possible, one of those overviews just to give the audience an idea.
Absolutely. So this is going to just to be the overview here with a little bit of information, and then you can click here for our user guide. And there's going to be just the use cases that are mentioned in this slide. So we'll go to our user guide here. So again, it lists all these requirements, the Power Automate, Teams, and Quartzy requirements, how to create a channel, all these use cases, how to import it to Microsoft Power Automate. And this is actually an optional step just in case it's a little bit of a troubleshooting step. So we'll be, adding more troubleshooting tips and frequently asked questions in the future as well.
I did notice that we got a quick feedback that the chat has been disabled, so apologize there. If you have any questions, just throw them in the Q&A section, or if you have any Slack alerts that you would like to see in the future, you can throw them in the Q&A section as well, and we'll have that recorded.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for bringing that up.
All right. Well, if there are no more questions, just want to let y'all know of the upcoming webinars that we have. They're not, oh, wait, we might have a question actually. Is there a timeline for the additional features, items approved, ordered for Microsoft Teams?
So there's no timeline right now. If it's something that, a lot of people are requesting, we can escalate that and try to get that done a little bit quicker. But I would say, within the next 6 months or so, we should have all the ones that I've listed.
Awesome.
Here, at least. And, if you think of any other ones that you would like to see, just email us at support@quartzy.com. Always taking suggestions, and we should be able to get those added.
And with that, just wanted to remind you all of the series of webinars we have coming up. These are all going to be implementation type webinars for all of our customers. So up next on 5.3, we've got our accounting integrations, which are NetSuite and QuickBooks Online. So if you guys are interested in integrating the information between your purchases in Quartzy and your NetSuite or QuickBooks Online account, that'd be a great webinar to attend as well. Then we have the ELN integrations coming up, the direct ELN integrations. The first is going to be with SciSpot. The second is going to be with Benchling. Those will be on 5.10 and 5.17. And then lastly, on 5.24, we're going to go a little bit deeper dive into our custom development options. So you'll notice that for the webinars from 4.26 to 4.17, that's the Teams, NetSuite, QuickBooks, SciSpot, and Benchling. Those are all what we call out-of-the-box integrations. So those are all available without the need for engineering lift. On the 24th, we'll go into some custom integrations and how to leverage our APIs and webhooks in order to create custom integrations and solutions. That's going to be more geared towards companies who have development capabilities and maybe want to do some slick custom integrations with some of the LIMS or ELNs or any kind of external inventory system that they're also working with. So that we'll go into that next month. So I hope to see you all at the next upcoming webinars. As Katie mentioned earlier, I will go ahead and collect the recording from this webinar. I will provide an email with all of the resources available for you. So you can go ahead and implement this awesome integration. I want to thank everybody for joining today. I really want to thank Katie for putting all of this together. And, just want to let everybody know that we continue to invest in this platform and we continue to invest in developments that we really think will make our customers' lives easier. So We thank you for being customers overall. We thank you for coming today. And we thank you for sticking with us as we continue to drive and streamline efficiency in the lab world. So thank you very, very much and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks everyone for coming.